Hi guys, it's your girl Chicks and I'm back with Wine Chats with Chicks. Pour yourself a glass of wine as you join me for part 2. I don't even know why I did that with the radio voice. So I believe I left it at the part where we had just met and the surge of electricity is flowing. Well, all I can say is after he sat down, we just kind of commenced and just went straight into like this really long conversation where it was basically getting to know each other. And I think what stood out more for me about that encounter was that conversation wasn't forced. We never had any awkward moments. And it was very shocking. And I will tell you, it is very shocking. For me to find somebody in this country, like I said, I'm in Poland, who spoke so well and so articulately. I didn't have to slow down when I was speaking, because sometimes I find myself having to really slow down for people to understand what I am saying. Okay, so with him it wasn't even like that. He got my sense of humor, I got his. And remember, I'm at Hard Rock Cafe, so it's quite a Friday night kind of vibe loud, you know. So I remember he looks at me and he says to me, do you really like this place? And I was like, no, I don't. In my mind, I'm thinking, anywhere you want to go, baby, I'll go with you, my babe. Don't even ask me. I will go. So, now this is where this motherfucking demon, this is where this motherfucker decides to switch it up for a girl. So we were sitting on high stools. Remember, we're sitting by the bar. We're sitting on high stools, and he says to me, okay, if we're not feeling this place, then there's a bar just like nearby that I would like to take you to. I was like, ditto, babes. Let's do it. Bet. So as I get off my chair, I see him grab my jacket, and I was so quick to say, that's my jacket. He's like, yeah, I know. Because why, ladies and gentlemen? He held up a jacket for me. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, understand that I have never had a man or even a woman hold up a jacket for me. So for me, this was like, oh shit, this is a movie shit, okay? So fast forward, just as that was not enough, we're walking down the stairs, because remember, I'm upstairs at the bar upstairs. He holds out his hand for me, and in my mind I was thinking, do you need some change? And he's like, oh no, be careful. I was like, oh, you holding my hand out the stairs too? Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're the pastor, we're the reverend, we could get married right now, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so fast forward, we proceed to leave, and we're walking within the market square. So the place that he wanted to take me to wasn't too far from Hard Rock Cafe. So we get inside, and it's like a really nice cozy spot. You get underground, and so we, find a table to sit. And you know how a typical date situation would be sitting across one another? What I found very attractive about this, hey, Ryan liked being close to me, as I had observed as the night unfolded, right? So he wouldn't want to sit across me. He would want to move his chair and come sit next to me so he could, be up in here. You know what I'm saying? So the night unfolds, and we're just talking about a lot of things. I remember we talked a lot about where I was from, and he seemed genuinely interested about me talking about Botswana and the capital, what happens there. He asked about the quality of life. We talked a little bit about why I'm here, and then he let me in a bit about what he does for a living. So this is when he breaks it down that he's a business owner, and he told me that he was in the finance and tech industry. So basically business required him to be between here and Italy. Okay, so it required for him to be between here and Italy. So he was telling me that he's quite back and forth but he has a home here where he lives, where all his things are. However, work required him to be, flying very frequently. And he tells me, it's so tiring and blah blah blah. And we get into like a lot of things like politics. And this is the first conversation where, like, the first political conversation we have, and he happens to mention that he idolizes Donald Trump. Now, anyway, so we start talking. I mean, we're talking. And remember, I have to meet up with my friends and go out. That plan went right out the window. I just remember looking at my phone ringing the first and second time and just putting it on silent. And I was like, I can't, It was such an amazing date. And I feel like I had never really experienced a date to that magnitude. He ordered us drinks. He ordered me warm wine with like cinnamon and citrus fruits in it. I'd always see that. And in my head, I'd be like, what the fuck kind of white people shit is that? Like, no offense. But I was like, what? But I actually tried it and I enjoyed it. And he ordered me another one as well. So when we got there, the place was kind of full. Like, there were people everywhere. At this point, we've been talking so much that we took a look around and literally nobody was there, right? And we were sitting in like the dark corner where we had like a little lampshade over us, and it was just kind of cute. It was very it was cute. I can't say I remember what we were talking about, but next thing I know, he leaped across. Well, at this point, we're not really sitting next to each other, but we're sitting, as opposed to across one another, we're sitting, I would say, adjacent to one another. So as I was talking, I don't even know what I was talking about, but it was probably something very unimportant, because next thing I know, homeboy leans over and gives me a kiss. And like, I just remember feeling like these butterflies like fluttering in my stomach, like. I guess that was actually, like, honestly the part where I would say I started to have actual feelings for him. I mean, he had been a gentleman. He had amazing conversation. I felt like he told me a lot of things that I knew in an expansion sense. So it's like I would know the surface about something, but he would go into the details, and it just felt like, oh, this is so perfect. So I had a pretty early morning that day. So I start getting sleepy around 2 a.m. and the date has to end because he's gentleman enough to actually observe that I've been, yawning and, showing signs of somebody who's tired, basically. So he looks over at me and says, can I call you an Uber? I was like, I was going to call it myself. And he's like, no, I'll do it for you. I mean, at this point, we've already crossed that boundary, so we're touching, you know what I'm saying? We're touching, and, he does this thing where he strokes my arm when I'm talking. So we get up, and he does the same thing. He gets my jacket. I'm just there waiting with my arms just to put my shit in, So we go outside, and we're waiting for the Uber. It was quite chilly that night, and I do remember I was wearing pants that had a slit, like from like the upper thigh downwards, right? So I mean, I'm cold, and I think he noticed this because now he starts putting his hands where my legs are, and I really, really genuinely remember having goosebumps. And when I'm saying goosebumps, I mean he would touch me, and the hairs behind my neck was standing. So after like 2, 5, 7 minutes of waiting for this Uber, it comes. Hey, he opens my door, right? Okay, opening my door, a lot of men have done that for me. However, not a lot, like he was the first man to open the door for me, and I didn't have to scoot over. And now the embarrassing part is, just as I was scooting over, I felt him come this side, and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, oh no, just looking for my kiss. It's like, no, so we get into an Uber. We share an Uber where he basically put in 2 addresses so he can see me off, basically see me get home. And when we got home, we kissed, and then I went upstairs, and I was swooning. I was in disbelief. I didn't even want to text no one. I didn't even text anybody about this. I was just still like in this bubble of like, hey, am I billing? What's going on, right? So anyway, he texts me when he gets home. He said something sweet. I just don't remember what it is. But I do remember waking up in the morning and thinking to myself, you know what? If he doesn't text me, it was fine because it was a great date. Kanti! He felt the same way. So he texted me a picture of him at gym. And he was telling me, oh, I'm at gym, but can I please see you later? Can I take you out for dinner? Yo, that's when the adventure starts. Join me for part 3 when I get into Sintle. Huh? What had happened? Hey. Ran. Thank you so much for joining with me. And as usual, it was great with your wine glasses. Cheers.